and gills, and the title of my poem is Holes of Green. Trees are full of holes between the leaves, I mean, but if you stand away enough, the holes fill up with green. Poem scan. The title of my poem is Open House. Fire a tree, I want to see a bird with a song on a branch of me. I want a quick little squirrel to run up and down and around for fun. I want a cub of a bear to call a porcupine big and tree toad small. I want a katydid out of sight on one of my leaves to sing at night. And down by my roots, I'd want a mouse with 6 little mouselings in her house.
Awesome. I did. You did good. Is that right if James made up
I looked from inside my note, Coughlin, and the title of my poem is Hideout. They looked and looked from inside my nook. I saw their looking slaves, but they would have looked all over town except they threw some acorns down.
My title of my poem is Autumn Leaves. One of the nicest beds I know isn't a bed of soft white snow today, but autumn leaves in a pile that lies deep and smelling like fall and dry. That's the bed where I like to lie and watch the flood as the fall go by. My name is Tori Rose, and the title of my poem is Watching the Moon. September evenings such as these, the moon hides early in the trees, and when I drive along the shore, I think I miss the trees the more because the moon is coming down beyond the branches and all ground.
The story is 5 Chants. Every time I climb a tree, every time I climb a tree, every time I climb a tree, I scrape a leg or skin a knee, and every time I climb a tree, I find some ants or dodge a bee and get ants all over me. And every time I climb a tree, where have you been, they say to me. But don't they know that I am free every time I climb a tree? I like it best to spot a nest that has an egg or maybe 3. And then I skin the other leg, but every time I climb a tree, I see a lot of things to see. Swallow, rooftops, and TV, and all the fields and farms there be. Every time I climb a tree, through climbing may it be good for ants, but it's awfully good for pants. But still, it's pretty good for me every time I climb a tree.
So my poem's name is Up in the Fun. I'm by myself, I want to be, I don't want anything to play with me. I'm all alone on top of the pine, Dad is fake me, I don't feel. Can look way out in the woods and lakes and hear the buzzing and chainsaw. A woodpecker chopping in the crabapple tree. His red crest bobbing. It doesn't see me. Anyone hollers a reason I'm not here. My name is Dinner, but I don't care. The pine needles wish and the wind whistles free, and up in the pine is only me. It's starting to rain, but the tree keeps me dry. The tossing black clouds, the tree and I. Daddy's calling, he never stays mad. He's probably feeling awful because I'm sad. I'll answer Daddy. He's concerned about the weather. We'll climb down, we'll take my hand, we'll go in the house together.
And my poem's called Trees. Trees are the kindest things I know. They do not harm, they simply grow, and spread a shade for sleepy cows and gather birds among their boughs. They give us fruit and leaves above, and wood to make our houses of, and leaves to burn on Halloween, and in the spring new buds of green. They are the first to touch the light when days begin. They are the last to hold the light when evening changes into night. And when the moon floats in the sky, they hum a drowsy lullaby of sleepy children long ago. Trees are the kindest things I know.
Title of my poem is Birch Trees. The night is white, the moon is high, the birch trees lean against the sky. The cool winds have blown away its little leaves of silver gray. All along the trees as white as wool, the moonlight makes so beautiful. Thomas, and the title of my poem is called Trees. With feet and toes beneath the ground, trees I think are wise to float their arms Every time the title of my poem is Every Time I Climb a Tree. Every time I climb a tree, every time I climb a tree, every time I climb a tree, I scrape a leg or skin and it's all over me. And every time I climb a tree, where have you been? They say to me, but don't they know that I am free? Every time I climb a tree, I like it best to spot a nest that has an egg or maybe three. And then I skin the other leg. But every time I climb a tree, I see a lot of things to see. Swallows, rooftops, and TV. And and all the fields and farms there be. And every time I climb a tree, climbing may be good for me, good for ants. It isn't awfully good for pants, but still it's pretty good for me every time I climb a tree. Chris Bravo. My title is Father and I in the Woods. Soon my father used to say, don't run, walk. My father used to say, don't talk. Words. My father used to say, scare birds. So be it sky and brook and birds and trees. My name is Emily Brown, and the title of my poem is Trees. The oak is called the king of trees. The aspen quivers in the breeze. The poplar grows up straight and tall. The peach tree spreads along the wall. The sycamore gives pleasant shade. Oh, jeez. The willow droops in a watery glade. The fir tree useful timber gives. The beech amid the forest lives. My poem is In the Treetops. Wind plays in the treetops. Wind sways in the treetops. Wind stays in the treetops. Up where it's green and high. Wind springs through the treetops. Wind sings through the treetops. Wind swings through the treetops. I wish that so could I. My name is Timmy Fleming, and the title of my poem is Climbing. The trunk of a tree is a road for me on a sunny summer day. Up the bark that is brown and dark, through tunnels and leaves that sway, and tickle my knees in the trembly breeze. That's where I make my way. Leaves in my face and twigs in my hair. I squeeze for a place, but I don't care. Some people talk of a summer walk through clover and weeds and hay. Some people strive where the hills are wide and rocks are speckled gray. But the trunk of a tree is a road for me on a sunny summer day.
In any kind of woodland, in any kind of breeze, aspens are the singiest of any kind of trees. And my name is Fred Selak. What?
And my title of my poem is Windy Tree. Think of the muscles a tall tree grows in its leg, in its foot, in its widespread toes, not to tip over and fall on its nose when a wild wind hustles and tussles and blows.
Nice and loud.
My present is John Kennedy. We joined the evening to play with down the sailboat. I had two children named Caroline and John. We had two nurse starting in miles away. Just as wife on her wedding day, September questions.
Mrs. Nicole Lee.
My president was Thomas Jefferson.
Ms. Catherine Gillis.
My president's name was Jimmy Carter.
Tori Lowe's.
My president was Franklin Roosevelt.
Panuccio.
President is Abraham Lincoln.
Sarah Everts.
My president is Abraham Lincoln.
Is Eric DeTono.
My president is Abraham Lincoln. This is a picture.
Is Kevin McLaughlin.
This is JFK. He's my president. And this is a picture of him.
And next is Tim Fleming.
My president is George Bush.
Is Billy Aliunas. Who's your president?
Franklin Pierce.
James Laughlin.
My president is James Madison.
is my president, John Adams, and this is a picture of him.
Next is Christopher Blavelt.
This is George Washington.
Is Fred Selak. Carmen Nigro.
My president is named Bill Clinton. Make peace. They had a campfire. They had plenty of food at the council. They had a great day. Person is Tecumseh. Tecumseh was born around 1770 in a small village in Ohio. He belonged to the Shawnee tribe. Tecumseh died in 1813. And his ally, British General Proctor, retreated to Fort Malden near Lake Erie. When General Harrison got near Fort Malden, General Proctor ordered the fort to be burned, and he retreated to Canada. Tecumseh and his warriors stayed to fight the American troops. Tecumseh died during this battle. My report is about Chief Joseph. His Indian name is Thunder Rolling in the Mountains, which means great power. He was born in 1840 in the Wallowa Valley. He lived with his tribe, the Nascares. Chief Joseph died in 1904. Reservation might look like. A reservation is where the Indians lived. Their homes are teepees. Chief Joseph and his tribe were friends with the white man until the white men took their land. Chief Joseph died waiting for the government to give it back. My Native American is Squanto. His name is Squanto. He lived in Plymouth, Massachusetts. His tribe was the Patuxet. That's the Pilgrims planting corn. He taught the Pilgrims how to hunt. He showed them how to build warm houses. He helped them make friends with the neighbor Indians. He explained how to plant. He told them to watch the leaves on the trees. When they were as big as squirrels' ears, the corn should be planted. He also taught the Pilgrim women how to cook the corn. This was important to Squanto because the rest of his family and tribe had died from the smallpox. He wanted to make friends with the rest of the Pilgrims because the rest of his tribe had died.
Geronimo was an Apache warrior. He was born near the
Gila River in Arizona in 1823. He died on February 17, 1909, at Fort Sill Reservation. He was born a Bedonqua Indian Apache. His parent named him Guyonqua, which means one who yawns. Perhaps he was a sleepy baby. He became a great warrior known as Geronimo, which means warmed by the sun, rocked by the winds. Later he became chief of the Cherokee Apache tribe. Shows Geronimo in 1850. It is just after his mother, wife, and 3 children were killed by Mexicans. The Apaches fought with the Mexicans over land. He is crying alone when he hears his name called 4 times. 4 is a magical number to the Apaches. It is here that Geronimo is told by the Great Spirit that he will not die from bullets. He believes he will not die in battle and becomes an even better warrior. He never did die from battling.
Miss Pocahontas. Her name is Playful One. She grew up in Virginia. She was born in 1595 and she died in 1660. Singing sailors in America. She helped them by giving them food when they did not have it. Pocahontas was a good friend to the first single settlers in America. She met them when she was 12 years old. Pocahontas got married to an English settler, John Ralph, when she was 19. Pocahontas died when she was 21 while on a trip to England.
My name is Thomas, and my person that I was writing about is called Massasoit, and the tribe he belongs to is called the Wampanoags. My report is about Massasoit. Massasoit means yellow feather. He belongs to a tribe called the Wampanoags. Go into the woods where they collect sap. Yellow feather went first with his bow and arrow, reach in case they met any wolves. The children were chanting a song and woke up an angry bear. Yellow Feather did not want to kill the bear, but he had to save the children and the women. He made a necklace out of the bear's claws. Only the best hunters wear their claw necklaces. The name of my tribe, the name of my Native American was Sacagawea, which means bird woman. The name of her tribe was the she lived in the Rocky Mountains. She was born in the 1700s. She died sometime during the 1800s. Scene is the most important part of when she takes Lewis and Clark to explore the western part of America. My scene is when they have to their of Sacagawea, we wouldn't never know about Western America. She was a great American hero.
Here is Pontiac. His name is Pontiac. The tribe name is Pontiac. Birthday is 1720 and he died in 1769. Pontiac War begins against the British. The British won because Pontiac gave up. In my diagram, the Pontiac War begins. The British are chasing Pontiac and his warriors. Their weapons are axes. The British weapons are rifles. American's name is Squanto. This tribe lives in Massachusetts. Squanto's life that he got captured because the white men brought smallpox disease to the Native Americans. He also learned how to work the white was supporting he learned how to be a witch. And I'm reading about Osceola. His birth name was Little Boy. He was born in Horseshoe Bend, Alabama. He was born in the year 1803. He died from malaria in January 1838. He was part of the Creek Indian tribe from Georgia and Alabama. And then the red men fought for land territory. The white men were the soldiers. Andrew Jackson was the president, and Osceola was the Seminole Indian chief. Osceola was a very good leader to his tribe. The Seminoles were the only Indian tribe in the United States that ever survived.
And my Native American's name is Squanto. His tribe is the Padawaks, I think. He lived in Plymouth, Massachusetts. He died around 1692, 1 year after the first Thanksgiving. And Squanto gave the Pilgrims these skills to survive. And that's all. Squanto showing the Pilgrims how to hunt food. This is important because if Squanto didn't show the Pilgrims how to hunt, they would die. This was an important scene in Squanto's life because he wanted to help the Pilgrims, even though he was made a slave by the white man Captain Hunt. He did not hold that against them. Squanto stayed and helped the Pilgrims because he lost his tribe and people. Then they knew people were going to be his new family. Thanks to Squanto, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Thanksgiving.